Our group of academics from Zimbabwe have set up a thriving farm growing vegetables and food crops on land in South Africa's Western Cape province. About 1 million Zimbabweans live in South Africa after fleeing economic crisis and political violence at home over the last 15 years.
A weekend in Malmesbury last year turned out to be a life-changing event for 5 Zimbabwean academics when they came across this plot of land in South Africa's Western Cape province. Albert Sintanga, Basirai Magunje, Walter Kumalo, Masimba Paradza, and Dr. Ignatius Matemati. They noticed the land and, on inquiring further, landed an opportunity to farm on it for a year for free. The aspiring farmers only had to pay for the electricity they used and were given full access to farming equipment. Growing up in rural Zimbabwe, farming was not new for the men, as they routinely did small subsistence farming back home. But they focused more on academics rather than careers in agriculture.
The land was usable but was not fertile. So what we did, if you look at the type of sand that we have here, it's a bit of sand soil which doesn't have much nutrients. So you need to add value to the land so that you could farm it. That's what basically we did. We add value to the land, the nutrients, by putting chicken manure, cow dung manure, trying to improve the soil. But the land was not useless.
Now known as the N7 Malmesbury farmers, they now pay about $80 a hectare to the landowner to keep their dream farm going.
We have plans to bring on board South Africans who are really willing to learn from us. So every window is open and there is no boundaries. When I look at the future, there's no limit. We can get there, we can refill the silos of South Africa.
There's a huge difference. If I spend a day in the engineering sector, it's stressing, it's highly demanding, but when you come to the farming side of things, it's enjoyable, it's stress relieving. We have a strong passion for farming. Just seeing crops growing just makes us feel happy.
An estimated 1 million Zimbabweans live in South Africa after fleeing the crisis at home.
If you are living in a certain city, you gotta make use of what is there. So these guys made a unique success story whereby they actually approached the owner of the land and asked them, could we farm here, you know? And they didn't say, let us go back to Zimbabwe and ask for land in Zimbabwe. They are working here, their families are here, they need to provide for the families, and they need to do, you know, and they need to be recognized. And what they're doing is not about, can I go back to my country, you know, but can I contribute to the city where I'm staying? Can I contribute? Can I do something better for the city?
The farmers are now working to expand their crop production from 3 hectares to 15 hectares and grow more vegetables, which they supply to clients at nearby Cape Town Epping Market.
Let's now take a look at the FMDQ OTC market. I'm being joined by fixed income trader at Diamond Bank, Ada Mbachu. Good afternoon, Ada.
Good afternoon.
Right, Ada. Well, the National Bureau of Statistics yesterday released the inflation figures. Of course, we know what it is, 13.7. How is the market reacting to that today? What is the yield like now?
Okay, the hike in inflation from 12.8% to 13.7% spurred a lot of bearish sentiment across the market. You know, there was a sharp response on the Treasury bill side as the bills traded currently at 8.2%, 10.1%, 11.7% at the short, medium, and long term, recording an average of 50 basis points increase. For the bond space, however, there was prior reaction because due to forecast of the inflation figures, market actually adjusted for these inflation figures, and we saw yields trading as high as 14.5% across all maturities. But today we saw a bit of adjustment, and then we saw the yield between 13.92 to 14.05. However, what we have seen generally is an adjustment to the current inflation figures.
Now, ahead of the Treasury bills auction tomorrow, in terms of liquidity, what are your expectations?
Yeah, the market liquidity has dropped significantly from last week, and this was actually due to funding transactions across the industry, some of which were like the AMCON sinking fund debt and the bond auction. However, for the Treasury bill auction, which is about 110 billion coming up tomorrow, I will say there won't be much effect on liquidity because we still have the same maturing, the same volume maturing on Thursday. So it's just like a rollover of existing maturity.
So what are your short-term outlook for the market?
Well, due to the recent happening in the market today, we have seen inflation figures as high as 13.7%. We have seen increase in the PMS. We have uncertainty surrounding the upcoming MPC. I feel that the market will continue with its bearish trend.
All right. Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you for your time. Well, Zimbabwe cut its economic growth forecast to 1.4% in 2016 from an initial forecast of 2.7% following a devastating drought and weak commodity prices. The drought that has scorched crops in most of southern Africa has left up to 4 million Zimbabweans facing hunger. Output of the staple maize is now expected at 450,000 tons, enough to last 3.5 months. In an undated bulletin for the January to March quarter, the Finance Ministry put its new growth target in line with that of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, banking on better performances in mining and services sector. Well, that's it on the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Chimezie Obiwago. Have a good afternoon.